Well, for more on how the situation is unfolding in the Americas, will it affect energy markets in the new year? I'm joined by Jameel Ahmad, Chief Analyst at online trading brokerage GTC. Jameel, what's the key thing for us to understand and about these events and what they could mean for Venezuela's natural resources?
Thank you, Steve. Well, essentially, we look at it from this perspective. Venezuela is oil rich in terms of reserves, but in terms of actual production of the commodity, it's poor. That's because of years of underinvestment. So yes, Venezuela could contribute as much as 15 to 20% of the global oil reserves, but it actually, in terms of the supply that's coming into the market, it actually represents around 1% of consumption. So in fact, we're talking about maybe years and years of potential, but it will take years and years for that potential to be matched. And that's why when you look at the oversupply dynamics and the demand of the commodity, we don't actually see the situation changing much. And then we also know that the US administration, particularly President Trump, they want oil prices to stay lower for longer. So should the US administration take more control over that potential market share, it's more likely to actually encourage more supply into the market. And that means that the oversupply will still remain larger than demand for the commodity. And that's why investors at this moment don't really want to buy into this headline.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult one to manage, isn't it? I mean, the potential is clear. I mean, if you have the biggest oil reserves in the world, then that is something that America would want to have control over. But as you say, it's not as simple as just getting it out to market.
Exactly that. It's not something that's going to happen today or tomorrow. It's something that might happen in years or maybe decades from now. We have to consider that Venezuela itself, actually, the oil pretty much has been undersupplied to the market for around 2 decades. So, how long this transition might take, how long it might also take for investors to come into the market, and for some of those reserves, again, the potential is certainly there. But the dynamics at play is how long it's going to take for that potential to actually come out. And it's actually also very much different because you take into account Latin America. It's not the region that you really focus on for oil supply. If this would have happened hypothetically in the Middle East or those markets that are known to be particularly volatile and sensitive towards oil-related news, then potentially the market reaction would be a lot more loud in terms of oil price movements. But actually, as we go into towards the end of the week, it wouldn't surprise me if we'll focus on more on Russia and Ukraine and how that potential geopolitical conflict and hopefully easing that might impact and should impact the oil prices more.
And Jameel, thanks very much for getting us across those details for us. Jameel Ahmad, the Chief Analyst at the online trading brokerage GTC.